So for some strange reason, whenever I saw this anime like pop up in my suggestions or on the related feed, I always avoided it. I think because the idea or concept of a morphing hand was a bit strange to me, so I just sort of ignored it. But I finally caved in and gave in to my curiosity and watched it, and I'm glad I did. This is Parasyte, the Maxim. The plot of Parasyte revolves around our protagonist, Izumi Shinichi, who's your typical nerdy, reserved Japanese high school student, and his encounter and subsequent journey with the alien creatures known to man as parasites. These creatures are able to assume the identity of any human they choose by burrowing to their host's brain and taking control from there. However, Shinichi barely avoided this happening to him by catching the parasite before he could be killed. So instead, the creature ate his arm, the parasite, thus taking control of it, ultimately giving him an unlikely partner throughout the show as it progresses. This creature is dubbed by Shinichi as Migi, meaning right hand. Yeah, it's very creative. We learn really early on that Migi's only real motivation is to survive, and as long as Shinichi stays alive, he can too. This means that the tight situations that Shinichi usually gets himself into can result in Migi saving his ass to ensure his own survival. And if you think about it, there's more than one thing the right hand can help him with, if you get what I mean. Yeah, I'm not going to make any more jokes now, don't worry. So the characters presented here are relatively developed, some more than others. One of my favourites being Tamiya Ryoko, who has an interesting ideology on how humans and parasites could coexist. For example, if parasites could limit themselves to eating only human food, and this would mean it would be easier to accept the parasites into society without having to kill them, right? And this whole idea of morality, who's right or wrong between the parasites and the humans, is tackled a lot more further down the series, and I think that's one of the best parts about the show, because you're never giving a true answer on who's right or wrong. It's down to you. It's really ambiguous, and in my opinion, that's a strength of the anime, and Tamiya's character. Out of all the character interactions and relationships in the show, by far the most interesting is that between Migi and Shinichi, since an interesting dynamic is presented here, where there is a constant philosophy that clashes between them. Shinichi wants to save everyone because of the altruism of humans, and Migi will fight anyone that threatens his own life, and Shinichi's. As the series progresses, we are really seeing major character changes within Shinichi, not only physically, but mentally too, especially since during the midway point of the show, there are changes in him that are drastic, compared to what he was like in episode 1.
My kind are simply feeding to stay alive and nothing more. It's natural for life forms to feed on other life forms. You just find it unpleasant that it's your own kind that is being eaten.
Well, yeah, of course. Human life is a precious thing, isn't it?
I don't know. I can tell you that I value my own life, although I've never really considered any other life form to be all that valuable.
Yeah, bet you haven't. 'Cause you seem to be more like an animal or an insect.
Shinichi, is that an attempt to be insulting?
Shinichi really reminds me of another character from a Marvel movie. I mean, he gains superhuman abilities, loses his glasses, overpowers the bully, and gets corrupted by power. And the anime does it in a really good way that it doesn't look cheap. Oh wait, yeah, it's like Peter Parker from Spider-Man.
Not everyone is meant to make a difference. But for me, the choice to live an ordinary life is no longer an option.
You are amazing.
Yeah, so that was it. Anyway, what the fuck is this CG? This looks so out of place. I mean, I have yet to see an anime that actually uses it properly without making it look awkward. I mean, the crowds look scary as shit. I mean, look at them. Another thing I picked up later down the show is that Shinichi is a horny motherfucker. I mean, there's a scene that literally goes just like this. I'm gonna die, and there's nothing I can do to stop it. Nothing? Are you sure? Fuck yeah, let's kick some motherfucking ass! Okay, so maybe that's not what happened entirely, but it's sort of along the same line. One last point I'd like to make is about the soundtrack, Parasite. It's one of the best things about the anime. I mean, starting with the opening, it does a fantastic job of hyping up the viewers for the madness that's to come. But really, does it have to spoil almost fucking everything? I mean, if I paid enough attention to what was going on the screen, I really would have pissed myself off. But anyway, I digress. The use of dubstep gave me a refreshing feeling, since it was a surprise to hear, and it really pumped me up for the fight scenes, whereas the anime plays a melancholic piano score when it tries to be emotional. Although I didn't really give two shits about most of the side characters, since the anime only focuses on developing a few set individuals, which kinda sucks. But overall, I would definitely recommend it. The concept alone is intriguing enough to warrant at least one viewing, even if you're just in the mood for some epic moments, and for me, it's definitely one of my favourites of the recent years, despite its shortcoming. I've been SirLantz, and have a great day.